and look, you'll see some actual live coaching here. Look, to get someone from here to here, you have to walk them through a process, right? You are a process person. And in your mind, if a person doesn't have the due process, you don't think it's fair. So so if you're processing it and you're thinking about it, if I'm pushing hard against you, it's going to give you another form of anxiety. So I won't do it to you. But I do know how to go along with the thing and kind of prod you to get there. So
well, I got there and I have my speech and I did the role play with Nick. Nick, who's on the videos, he did the role play with me. He's like, would you like me to be you? Would you like me to be Stuart? And I was like, can you be me? And he did it. Videotaped it and I practiced it.
Well, that's great.
At least you put the time into this, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to hire people back.
It'll be much better when it's done, I promise. But just have some have a cocktail ready or something. That's usually what I do.
I think I'll need it.
We got the bar cart. We got the bar cart in the office ready to go. So
I'm gonna buy a bottle of Tito's on my way in.
I've tried to hire people back, and Chirag has told me not to. He was really good.
To hire, you're saying?
I've had people try to leave, and Chirag has walked me through it. Or we're leaving, and I was like, and I just let him go, which was new for me. And Chirag helped me walk me through that process. And also then I've gotten after letting him go, I'm like, I want to hire him back. He's like, we're not hiring him back. So it's I'd be like,
I go to him and I quote directly, once you bring garbage to the curb, you don't bring it back in. That's it.
And then I hired somebody new, and Chirag told me to stick it out, and she's blossoming and she's doing great. So, it's hard. It's always transition. It's change, so it's hard. So hang in there. You'll figure it out.
A couple things I wanted to really go through today as a group, right? One, obviously the compass retreat, first and foremost. And the other thing is, there's a lot because of the economy and everything else. Look, there's certain realities that are going to happen that we can't get around, right? But there's also, I said this quote that everyone really liked, and people started posting it online. It was kind of cool. I said, with great uncertainty comes great opportunity, right? And you have to look at the way you guys have your team set up. Number one one opportunity is recruiting, right? All these agents that were doing 5 to 10 million that were like, oh, the market's great, I could do it on my own. Listen, the reality is no one wants overhead right now. So people are going to cut, right? And I believe when everyone's going backwards, it's the time to go forward, because all great businesses are made in recessions. That's where true wealth is made, right? So everyone should be looking at refining their value proposition, right? So recruiting is an important thing. Stacy doesn't need or want anybody. So you're good. But if you're like most of us and want talent, right? It's a time to at least look at it. The second thing is, look, if your sales are going to go down by 10 or 15% next year because of the economy, right? That means technically speaking, you have 10 to 15% more time. So then the natural question is, where do you invest it into? Right? And if you're not going into next year with a plan for that, you're fucked. Excuse my language, right? You literally have to understand this. Tommy loves it. It's look, if you want to plant the bigger tree, you're going to have to dig a bigger hole. So the question is what are the things that we can work on? Our infrastructure, our systems, our processes, right? Our next retreat is going to be what would I say? It'll be the beta of what we're going to be doing next year as a much larger retreat. The retreat's going to be called Super Systems, right? So one of the things that I believe in, a good forward-thinking person, is this is a good time for us all to obsess over our client experiences and fine-tune every last single detail. Because I told a client today, well, you guys know him in New York City, Tom D. Domenico. Well, he loves you, Tommy, right? I go, you want to know what I'd be doing if I was your employee? He's like, yeah, please. I'd be dragging you all into a room with all those pads, and I'd be going through every last single detail. And now 2 things are going to come out of this for you, right? Number 1, you're going to fine tune the whole process. Number 2, do it with your team. They'll actually know your whole process. And number 3, you will have a repeatable process to teach people to in the future if you choose to do it. Right? Every email, text message, phone call, video, everything should be accounted for. And in a busy market, you don't have time to do this, right? You have to remember one thing. Every year that has gone by like this, consumers have access to stuff previously only you had access to. So your client experience every year into the future is more and more important. And it has to be more of the concierge experience, right? You look at some of the legal battles that are going on with NAR, they want to eliminate buyers agents commissions altogether, right? They're going against that blanket commission, the Clear Cooperation Act. They think it's all bullshit, right? Now think about it. If you had to pay a real estate agent, right? Allison Ziefert, say you're moving out to Huntington Beach, California, right? I'll bring you out to the west side, right? Average price point of a home, probably for a decent home, $1.5 million, $2 million, right? Would you justify an agent's job as a $60,000 job? Like, would you write a check for someone to help you find a house, $60,000?
I guess it depends on the person.
It depends on what they offer you,
Yeah.
right? So now look, let's see. So this is my favorite way of doing this for people and describing value propositions, right? We all know American Express, everyone has one. So go to cards, right? View all business cards. Now, if you look at what you offer people, learn more. Travel, right? It's such an undefined thing. But if you look within travel, look at all of these different things that you get, right? It's a lot of stuff. Rewards, look at all of these things you get. Cash flow flexibility, expense management. Now, why do I share this with you? Because this is a lot like how you guys run your businesses in terms of what you offer people, right? But if you're not taking the time to really refine this and like work, and we should all be working as a group on this and make it that clear as to what people get, how do they know what you're paying for? You naturally are going to think that it's costs too much money. That's why people like high-end luxury experiences. All the details are accounted for. Right? So this is what we want to start thinking about as we have time. If you all have like a little assignment, when I have downtime, what am I going to work on? You need to have an idea. Because if you're not working on something, for some of us, depending on our psychological makeup, you're going to catastrophize what's going on, and you're going to get depressed, you're going to become anxious, and it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And those of us here know who they are. What?
Don't look at me.
I know he's looking at me. I'm aware that he's looking at me, which is fine. And I was just telling David that I am keeping everyone busy. We're doing 12 million team things just to all keep together and just be together so nobody goes crazy. Lots of different things, fun things and educational things. We're doing every third Thursday now. We have like someone coming to the office to do a presentation on some topic so that we can continue our learning. One was like a Halloween thing, like, so there's fun and educational, but as I'm trying to keep us all together as much as possible.
Yeah, this is where being intentional is really important, because if you don't have intention, guess what you're going to end up filling up that time with? The same old stuff you do every day. And so that period will pass and you will not have taken advantage of the time that you had in there to do something different, whether it's developing talent, developing systems, something like that.
Yep. So Andrea, what we're talking about, just kind of loop you in, is as the market changes, assume you might do 10 to 15% less transactions, no fault of your own, but to plant a bigger tree, you have to dig a bigger hole. So the first thing is being purposeful, intentional in what you do with your time, right? Like when you have time next year. Listen,
I've quoted Matt about that. I missed the last session or two, but Matt talked about, I told my team how Matt talked about being very careful about and very discerning with your clients about who's going to waste your time. And we had to talk about that again this morning, because very often we don't want to upset a client. And in our mission of serving them, sometimes we let them drive the bus, and then we end up with a stale listing that's doing what? Wasting our time and money. And what quote did you get? I've quoted you a lot, Matt. I should get you on a Zoom and show them who you are.
Well, I appreciate that, Andrea. Still watching your TikToks. I think they're great. I think you're doing a great job yourself. So you're
Thank
doing
you. I
great.
stopped watching. Yeah.
It's hard to watch yourself. No, it's true. It's the kind of market where you got to watch your time. You really do. Working smarter. It's like being in baseball since it's the playoffs. It's like, you see guys swing at bad pitches and they strike out a lot, right? It's like swinging at the best pitches, hitting the pitches you can hit, and it's like being a shark and finding the fish, finding the blood in the water to go get something. Like you got to watch it, especially in these markets. Like when everything's coming at you and you're a school of fish, like a good market, right? But now it's like a little bit more of a hunting mentality. It's just pivoting. My mom's been a broker for a million years, and she's the best I've ever seen, and she's amazing. And she came over for my daughter's birthday last night, and we were talking and we had some great memories working together. We were number 2 in the whole country in 2009, and she was like, "Matt, we and you were number 2 in the whole country," and she was like, "We pivoted," and you were telling me we pivoted. When we pivoted in that recession, we just pivoted how we dealt and how we priced and everything. And you just got to pivot. You just got to keep moving. Can't do the same thing.
I'm writing all this down.
You're awesome. You make me feel good.
So look, I think, a couple things, right? Be really present to this. I would not worry. I don't think, personally speaking, I don't think this is time to cut back shit. I think this is the time to, if you have money and you have been profitable, now's the time to double down and not live in fear and be a savage. Right? Like the people, everyone that I talked to, and Matt, you probably talked to more of these guys than any of us, but all these guys have been sitting with cash all these years are now like, fuck yes, dude, I'm about to go in here and I'm going to buy stuff up, right? Like the market is going to go down. There are going to be opportunities. There is going to be talent available. Think about this. If you go back a year and a half ago to find a decent talent person, literally the employee could hold a gun to your head and tell you what you want. You're like, okay, please don't leave, right? Well, it's not the case anymore. People layoffs are starting to happen again. Right. So look, there's a couple other things, right? For all of us, I think everyone here is still in production, right? I told someone this as well. Now is not the time to get out of production, right? It's the time to focus on how we can run each transaction as lean as possible to leverage. So I encourage everyone to have that piece of paper next to their desk every day that says, what did I do today that could have paid somebody else to do? That's the most valuable set of information for people at businesses like you could humanly have. Getting anything off your plate to your staff members, because all of you have staff. And so as the market changes, there's going to be more time for people, right? And again, you need to have stuff for these people to do. Right. There are people then that start to get worried. The market's changing. Am I going to get laid off? You got to think about this from all different aspects. Does that make sense to everybody, what we're saying? All right, cool. All right, now let's get to the fun shit. Anyone have any questions around that? I don't know why I'm cursing so much today. I'm sorry.
I need it.
Going.
Go ahead.
I didn't even notice. Is that a problem?
That says you're from New York, Stacy.
Are we going to make the baseball playoffs interesting, New Yorkers?
What was that?
So are we going to make the baseball playoffs interesting
Yeah.
with Astros and you New Yorkers?
Yeah. Yankees moving on.
We hope so. No promises. We'll see.
I'm just
can't
hoping
watch
for
out
a
too, they hit
legal
another home
series
run.
this time.
Oh shit!
Ooh,
Shots
we
fired.
went there.
Shots fired.
What happened?
He said a legal series. I'm really a Braves fan, honestly. Astros are my side chick.
I'm not a baseball. I don't know. I'm not following. I did know the Yankees went on, but that's about it. One of my clients,
I'm with Stacey.
Seelig is the Bud Selig's daughter is one of my sellers right now. Which is really cool. So did you just say you're a Braves person? Wasn't they the owner of the Braves?
I think so, yeah. Where I grew up, we didn't have our own team. So everybody from Alabama is for the Braves. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Seeligs, right? Am I saying it wrong? I don't know. Bud Selig, right?
Yeah, Bud
I
Selig.
think so. I think you're saying it right.
Yeah, his daughter is my seller, and she's the most lovely person in the world.
That's amazing. Y'all are so fancy.
I can't sell the apartment, but I'm trying. All right, what's the fun part, Chirag?
What were the
Next week.
retreat, right? Like, listen, we're all gonna have a great time at the retreat. So first of all, I don't know what you do you have a fear of needles, Stacy Froelich?
No,
Listen,
I'm not getting up at 7 a.m. for someone.
You don't have to get up at
stick me
7 a.m. You could go at 8:30, 9. Like, well, we'll have it for a few hours. I'm going to do mine later, but I'll go hang out with everybody. Listen, I'm just saying this. I've done a lot of research, and you know me, I'm into every health hack possible. You have no idea how great you feel after one of these.
It just like hydrates you.
No, so listen, there's so many things like that you're supposed to get out of foods that you don't get, like trace minerals, certain zinc, vitamin B12, hydrates you. So literally they're fluid bags and vitamins that go into you intravenously. It'll help with your brain fog. It'll help you have energy. You just feel good after it. It's not like people have like this stigma around it that it's like some like just hangover cure. I don't drink, but I go every 2 weeks and I get an IV. Like religiously, and especially as the weather's changing and stuff like that, and just like helping your immune system. It's good.
I have a terrible.
Uh-oh.
Good for me. If you sneeze in Connecticut, I will get sick. So
Exactly. So we're gonna add you to the list. Who else wants an IV? Matt, I know you're in. Tommy's in. Tommy,
I'm
why aren't
in.
you in?
I want to be in, but I've got, God, Matt, your party's gonna kill me. I'm doing. So
I think it's gonna
what
kill
time
a lot
do you
of
have to
people.
be- What
because
time do you have to
I'm
be-
doing a session Wednesday morning, and they want us there at like 7:30 to rehearse.
So tell them you won't get there till 8:30 and do an IV from 7 to 8.
And
I have a meeting at 7. I have like
Oh.
I have like a breakfast at 7 a.m. on Wednesday.
it's gonna
Are
be
you
fun.
going to the Women of Compass breakfast, Stacy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Or is it top team leads? Is it
So top team,
leads?
yeah, top
Yeah.
team meets at 7 a.m. And then the Women of Compass thing is 4 o'clock that same day.
I don't
Hey
know if
Matt,
I've seen
what's
that.
up with that other group doing a party at the same time? I saw that today. What's that all about?
Wait, Matt, when's your party?
It's Tuesday night,
Tuesday night.
9 to 12. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think people came in late. I think we got in there early. Like it's
Yeah.
No,
I
our
think
party?
people are maybe trying to, I don't know, like I'm getting calls from like assistants, like, can I get into this thing? Like it's like it's all sold out. It's gonna be live. It's definitely gonna be live. It should be sweet. I think it seems like it's really busy, this thing. It seems like a lot of people, especially that
Yeah.
first night, or maybe had a little bit of similar idea, but I'm glad we got it up early because it feels like we
So
kinda got it
listen,
out there.
I'm gonna hang out at my party till like 11 o'clock, and I'm gonna go to your party. And Tommy and I got tables, and we're gonna be doing some shenanigans. So listen, the other part is like when you actually meet people at retreats, right? Like what do you do? How do you stay in touch with people? Like we don't just want to all go there and just get banged up. TP, dude, we're gonna find you an IV before you go. Just tell them you can't get there till like 8:30.
Yeah, I don't know. I was supposed to go to some breakfast too before that, which I don't know. I overcommitted.
dead,
I
though.
overcommitted.
I did that my number one to LA. I like reserved for everything, and then I didn't
Yeah.
really understand LA traffic, and I don't think I went to anything. Like I was like, I think I went to like half the stuff I was supposed to. It's hard. There's so much stuff, and it's
Well,
like,
and that's the other thing. I was looking at the map. I don't think everyone understands, like some of the stuff isn't close.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not like Austin where you just walk.
Matt, how far is your thing from where I am? You're gonna come to our party, I assume, in the beginning, and then head over to yours.
yeah, of course. I don't know. I got to map it out. I got my girl Haley helping me organize it all. But I was gonna go to the golf. I paid for like a foursome. Like I'm like, there's no way. It's like, and then I realized like Dom on my team was like, Maddie, you realize it's like an hour away. I was like, God, I was like, that's no way. So I don't even know what I'm gonna do with that. Yeah, it's like I didn't realize some of that stuff too, Tommy, like the distance between some of the stuff. But yeah, Chirag, of course, man, I'll be there first. I'm pretty open like Tuesday, anyone's around, like from like 3 to the event stuff and Chirag's event, like, and then my shit. So it's like I'm around that whole time. But I'm coming in early too if anyone's around too. Like I'm gonna do a dinner with my guys, but anyone's welcome. I'm doing with like Dom and Greg and Sunday night. So if anyone comes in early.
Margot and I discussed just doing like a simple dinner, maybe Wednesday night, like
I would pay money to go there and watch you two drink wine and get drunk. Like I really would. It'd be hysterical.
I don't think I want to, like, I feel like there's so many parties Tuesday, great. And then there's a big party Thursday. So I figured Wednesday I'll just doing dinner. That doesn't mean there's no alcohol involved, but not going to like a crazy party on Wednesday is my plan.
No,
No,
I'm not
I always
staying up for Wednesday night either.
I always
Right,
end
and-
up in good conversations and then it's hard to leave and then I got to go to something else and I just want to stay in a good conversation with somebody too. It's what I've noticed happens to me too. Like I'm having a great time somewhere and then I end up like, oh, I got to go to this or whatever. So I think I'm going in there a little bit with an open mind, but we'll see.
Right, so look, when you're going to these things, right, have a plan and have a follow-up plan. Like as simple as this sounds, like you meet all these people, what do you do? Right? It's a great place like to deepen relationships. I would say at retreats, it's good to go deep versus wide. Like meeting everybody's like fun and all, but like go get to know people better, right? Like, and that's really the important part. Tommy, what time's your presentation? So like for those of us who can't actually be functional, we'll come support you. You're muted.
I think the first one's at.
I signed up.
What's the first day? I don't know. There's 3 of them. It's like 10, 11, and lunch, and then like one or something the first day, and then the second day they're in the afternoon, so people get to sleep in. That was smart.
I don't know. My plan is to go on the event thing and then like put everything in my calendar and then figure it out.
All right, so look,
Isn't Butch having a party on Monday night?
yeah.
So
We need to do a video called pivoting. Tell me more about your pivoting video.
Well, no, Matt was just saying we pivoted, and I was thinking, you know, maybe like a video, I don't know, I'm just spitballing, like a video of like the market went down after 9/11, we pivoted or something. And then, I don't know, something like all the downturns.
Do you know what else the people don't forget? This is the top of the market. They're still all the way freaking up here. Like even if sellers have to lower their prices, it's still better than they were going to get like 4 years ago anyway.
Not in my market,
Well, yours is, yes, minus yours.
minus mine. But yeah,
How's yours different, Stacy? I'm just curious. How's that?
we never really went up 40% like all of you guys. Like the city has been really hard from the very beginning of COVID. 2021 was a very good year. Like we sold and prices definitely came back up, but they didn't go way above where they were pre-COVID. Like we came back obviously, but we didn't experience what every other suburban market, or I guess every other urban market too, did. So New York City was hit really hard by COVID, and we're getting hit really hard again. Like nothing is moving.
Yeah,
I did like a little thing for my sellers because obviously I want them to know I'm doing everything I can. But when I tell you I'm not showing, I'm telling you, like, if I get one showing a week, I'm like psyched.
Wow.
And so I like just did a little thing to compare like to their type of property, how many more properties went into contract during the last 3 months last year as this year. It was like for almost every category, it was 4 times as many properties went sold last year than this year in like the last 3 months.
Wow.
It's just not moving, and it's all price points. It's the entire market is very slow. I mean, of course there are deals happening, but it's slow and it's hard, and days on market are very long. I think the average in the city is now like 125.
Wow. 125 days. You
Yeah.
hear that, guys? 125 days on the market. My team knows nothing about that.
Exactly.
that's-
The biggest
Even the
struggle for us
last
has
year
been
has
that-
been 70.
Wow.
7. Wow. The
Yeah,
biggest-
even when our market was good.
The biggest struggle here, what has put a freeze to everything, is we've never in North Texas, DFW, I can probably speak for Andrea too, down in Houston. Like no one gets rich on their residential real estate here, right? You buy here, you get 3-4% a year, 2-4%. When the 08, 09, we barely got hit a little bit. But the last 2 years, 2 years, we've seen 40%. It's been like 20+% each the last 2 years. I think the last 5 years, it's 75%. So what we're doing now is finding our spot. We're coming down 10-15%, which is fine, right?
Fine.
And like Chirag said, but what I tell my clients, like, hey, 2 years ago, if you bought this house, and I told you in 3 years the value of your home was going to go up 25%, what's your answer? They're going to be like, hell
Right.
yeah, right? It's just the way it's being done here. The agents, the people that live here, they've never experienced that super spike. It's always just been like this, right? So sellers and buyers are just freaking out, right?
What are your closing costs for sellers? Like average percentage?
About 1.5%.
Like ours are 10% on average, 8 to 10%. So most people here, no matter what, are just losing money.
Yeah.
They 2015, 14, they're losing money.
Wow.
Stuff. So nobody's selling unless they have to sell.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Stacey, I feel like you guys got like this being in the Hamptons. I hear about the New York City market a good amount and spending a good amount of time in the city pre-COVID too. Like you guys had a couple of those years there. Well, I know I was kind of jealous out here though. You had the pre-COVID though, where that thing was kind of, I think you kind of peaked out then, and then COVID happened. You guys have just been sliding since like that 20, like it was always like a record trade. It seemed like it was just
Right. And then
yeah.
in 2021, though, there was like all those record trades again. Like it came back, and now it was very short, but it was a good year. But we will get through it like we do everything else.
Look, in the end, this stuff, like the way that I think about this for everyone and what I've learned in, I don't know, 4+ years of having just all conversations with great people like you is what's going to happen is what's going to happen. And I think the shift that we all need to make is learning how to control ourselves better during uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like in the end, and I said that to someone the other day, they go, wow, Chirag, that's really profound. Like, where'd you get that from? I was like, actually, I got it from when I got out of college and my dad threw me out of his store and made me walk home. He's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, when I got out of college, I needed money still to go out and do stuff. And, my dad jokes around still that 66 hours was the easiest work week of his life. Monday through Saturday, 7 to 6, they'd be at the store. So we came up with this idea that I could open the store. I could stay there until 9 or 10 while I was, getting all my financial licenses and stuff. And me being the guy that I am, I literally calculated to by the hour down to the dollar how much they're making. And I would tell my dad that it's a waste of time to leave the store open for the first 3 hours because he makes under $100. And he was right in what he was saying. He's like, yeah, but it's part of people's lives and routines. He goes, that guy's come here for 25 years. That guy's come here. So one day I got brazen and you know what I said to him? I go, why don't you just do what I'm going to do? It's not like you're going to wake up and come back here anyway. You're sleeping all the time now. So just leave me alone. And he looked at me, he had this look in his eyes, and I was like, oh shit. He goes, get out. What do you mean get out? Just get out. Get out where? He goes, take a walk. Take a walk where? He goes, go home and don't come back. I'm like, you kidding me? He goes, out. So I'm like, fuck this guy. I walk out and everything. And he goes, one more thing. He goes, what? He goes, with or without you, the sun's going up and the sun's going down. The door's open and the door closed. I'm like, what the? I'm like, here this guy comes with this immigrant sayings. Now, this is crazy. And then as it unpacked, my dad later told me, he goes, look, a couple of things. He goes, in life, no matter what happens, the door's going to open, the door's going to close, whether with or without you. Right. So never think that you're so important that you can't be replaced. Second thing is, he's like, there's certain things in life that happen, like the sun going up and the sun goes down. These things are going to happen. What you do in the day is what you really get to choose. Right. And, I think of uncertainty as this weird thing that people just become so uncomfortable with. Right. That I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen with the market? How much of the rate's going to go up? Are people going to get laid off? Are people going to stop buying houses? But it's like, how do we become comfortable with this and control ourselves better during it? Right? Because in the end, whether we approach this is going to be the greatest year of our life, or we approach this like, oh my God, everything's going to be bad. It's the same thing, right? So that's really the question in doing it, is as you do this, is like, where do I spend our time? How do I control myself better doing it? How do I not get sucked into this? And how do I find opportunities in this? Because there are opportunities.
To add to that, you know, one way to think about all this is there's the past, there's the present, and the future. The only piece of that we have access to is the present. And so often our mind goes to the future, especially if it's a negative future. We get worried about it, right? And we're freaking out about it. But there's nothing you can do about the future in a sense, because it's still going to happen no matter what. But you can do something about the future by choosing the right action right now. And so by simply staying in the moment and taking the right action based on whatever your vision for the future is, whatever your plans are, allows you to stay on track no matter what happens. And as things change or as things happen, you make the adjustments you need to make. So you don't have to be in that worried state. You know, there's one way they say it is, if you're in regret, you're in the past. If you're in fear, you're in the future. And if you're calm, then you're in the present.
So
I love that, David. Every year, my goal is my New Year's or whatever is to be present. And we all know I'm not calm. So if I could just master that.
Well, that's true. You have no access to the future. You have no access to the past. You just have access to the present.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to write that down when I stop. I have a question for all of you in terms of pivoting, looking for business, other streams of income. How many of you guys do any commercial real estate? Anybody?
I get leads for it. I refer it out. The Compass we started a commercial division out here, which I think was smart. They hired this pretty cool this team, you know, in the Hamptons. It's like you either do it or you don't. So, but this team, I refer, I guess I get some good stuff, you know.
I've accidentally ended up doing commercial. I think I have more in as much, or maybe a little more, at least as much right now listed in dollar volume in commercial listings as I do residential. But I did my first commercial lease for an oil and gas company last week. And I was like, damn, that was easy money. You know?
Oil and gas, that's so Texas.
Yes, it was. It was oil and gas company. Yeah. In the Galleria, which is super Texas. Yeah.
I think if it's happening, like, look at it and try to, you know, map it out, you know, get with Chirag here and try to figure out, like, I know for me, I was letting commercial stuff go. So I was like, and then I had a lunch with this guy who's an up and coming commercial broker out here. It's a very old school thing, but this young guy, of course, Compass, they got him and he's starting his cool team. And I like had lunch with him and I was like, let's, you know, I was like, I got to stay involved on a 50-50 and a lot of stuff, because these are like big dudes, like, you know, a couple of them are like major hitters, but they're, you know, because I have a couple of guys in my network that love to develop, and they're like they're basically developers and they love commercial stuff. So, you know, so it's you know, you got to figure it out. If there's money there, figure it out. You know, and map it out for sure.
I'm feeling unfortunately in that realm with Compass, I'm feeling like I am having to do a lot of figuring it out. I not having any luck getting any resources, or I don't know. I'm not having any luck getting any resources or assistance through Compass. I'm having to go outside of that and just kind of a little grit and sweat equity, you know.
Andrea, let's start a commercial department, a team between DFW and Houston. Let's do it. I've thought about it. I'm like Matt. I refer 4 or 5 a year, and there's no one in this office. It's a buddy of mine. He's in the building below, and they're easy deals. And I'm actually looking to have someone on my team kind of head it up, and because if it's there, you might as well, right?
Well, why don't we all just
let's
form
do it. Let's talk about that. I'm sorry, what?
How about I take the mastermind and David and I figure out how to all you guys collaborate all your businesses together and you make the most crazy team in Compass.
Yeah, like a big giant mega team to destroy the world.
Mega team. Everyone could still eat what they kill. They could all have their own models, but like it would just galvanize people. You ever thought about doing something like that? 'Cause I think
We joke about it, but I have a feeling, I kind of think that's what the business is going to, and in a little bit of a hybrid part of that. Like if you look at these, I know there's a Compass group called like the Network Group on the West Side, right?
you
So
do
it's-
know that's Butch's group, right?
Which is
Yeah,
great.
it's Butch's group. So like you go on their site and it says, $2 billion sold and, 1,500 transactions this year. So they're marketing themselves as a team, but they're
Well,
all
that's sort of,
individual.
Tommy, that's
teams
sort of
or
like what Private Client
agents.
Network
Realm does
and
it.
Realm. And
Yeah.
Realm, people are dropping out of there like they're flies because they
Yeah.
oversubscribed. I think we've talked to this, Stacy and our group has spoken about it. There's something to be said about exclusivity. There's a flip side. There's a good side and a bad side. But if it's done the right way and it's done as a more collaborative way, it is what you're inherently getting by picking Tommy or Matt or Andrea. It's what you're getting is you're getting a built-in highly vetted luxury brokerage throughout the entire country. I would be so freaking game on that. You have no idea, because Realm pissed me off when they accepted me and then kicked me out because someone complained that I was too many people in Greenwich. So I'm all in.
So guess what we're doing? Actually, speaking of super teams. So
What?
you'll hear this here first. David and Tommy know about this. They're on our team. We've decided that in terms of what we want to do and who we want to work with and kind of where we're positioning ourselves in the company, is that we have a unique ability of working with high performing individuals, right? Rory always says this to me. He's like, you're the best coach at working with like high producing teams and people and like our true luxury agents. He goes, I love you. He goes, why don't we do more masterminds? Like he was really impressed when he came to ours in San Diego and saw everybody. So what we came up with was this model of, we're going to fill out 5 more groups of 50 people so that we could essentially open this up to all the different markets in the country. And out of the groups, we haven't decided the split between actual print, like individual agents and teams like you guys, but we might just leave it at another 4 groups, right? Which is more realistic of 2 and 2. But what we decided to do was, everyone will have like everyone's group will have like their own little like business planning retreat in our office that we can do each year. But then when we thought about it, I was like, do you know what would be really valuable? A once-a-year event called Super Systems, right? Because I said this in the beginning of the call, if anyone was in here, the way that you service your client, the systems, the process, the concierge, all those little details is going to be the most valuable thing that you have. It's the thing that you're going to trade on. It's your brand. It's what people are going to pay you for. And I'm always thinking for all of you, how do I build the world that I believe is going to be the future for you today? Because I believe there will be a world where these commission things all get regulated and everything else, and then the buyer will choose who they're paying for. But if you have a quantifiable, better service, people will hire you and pay you the full freight, right? So our idea is once a year to start throwing this super exclusive retreat for all of our mastermind clients. It'll be anywhere between 2 and 250 people. But we're going to go to a high-end resort. There'll be breakout groups. There'll be workbooks. There'll be super systems where every year we're all going to enhance it. But it's going to be all around the concept of systems and processes and really like tactical things. So, Angela, when you talk about how do you bring those people together, we're going to have to interview all of these people individually. And realistically speaking, like kind of where I am in my life, once we fill out these groups, I don't think I'm going to do anymore. Like I'm good with 5 groups of people that want to do it. And then all of our resources and time just go into developing the relationships of the group. But if you take 250 of the best agents in the company and you put them all in one place, you facilitate community, a monthly group call, breakout groups, there's so much value to be had of being in a network like that. Because if they're in our network, they're going to be smart, they're going to be collaborative, they're going to be fun, right? Like they're going to be ethical, they're going to have good businesses. So when you stay doing that, I've observed enough of people getting into groups and not into groups and kind of what they're about. But look, the challenge is this. How do you create structure? And the value in a group is us being able to take all the things that you have and put it together in a way that none of you could do it individually and then giving it back to you. Then creating space to have these relationships. Then creating space to have these conversations. Facilitating great conversations, facilitating great meetings, right? And like, look, the bonds people brought here together are, I think, the most valuable thing. It's incredible. And that's the testament to all of you.
What you give me is a currency of time. By doing what you just said, and I just came out of a marketing meeting, so I know for a fact, it's the It is the currency of having all this stuff. Compass is great, but there are so many tools. I just said to my marketing person, pretend I'm brand new, because when I started 3 years ago, things were so different, but then the world changed and I became really busy. So I don't even know what we have, what we don't have, how to make my life well. Like, and how do you all of a sudden go back to the beginning when you're already here? Like, but so what you do is you give me the gift of, you've already curated what is good to use. You understand me as a agent, what my faults are, which are many, and my strengths. And you say, get rid of that noise. Here's what you need to do. Not only that, you're going to sit here for the next 2 hours and you're going to make the marketing plan. I'm going to look it over and then you're going to implement it, and the templates and this and that. It's great to go to all these things, have all these ideas, and you come back home and you go, I got to show someone this, I got to do this, and you forget. So if I hear what you're saying, you're going to curate for us, not only the people, the systems, which will enable us to have time to spend it with our families or on work, or a blended of the two.
Yeah, because here's the thing, like when we're factoring like our workload, if I showed you in my other room on my wall what my calendar and my annual plan is, if we have this all mapped out and we factor time as a team, like our staff and our coaches, to really look at all this stuff and put it together for you in a very unique way, right? Because look, I'm having more of these conversations than anyone else is, right? And like, look, in the end of the day, like money is money, but the nice part about real estate is you sell one more house than what you do in most of these markets, you make a great ROI, right? Like if everyone learned how to sell one more house of spending a year together here, it's a 20% ROI, which is great. You'd put anything in and take 20% out, right? Like, and the way that we think about things in real estate in terms of what we invest in, what we put our time in, you know, the time value of social currency, these are things people don't think about, but this is why all of you do so well in your businesses, because you have such a high value on relationships, right?
Yeah.
So look, there is a smarter way to do this that no other mastermind group has ever done. All of you that have not seen our office, you could ask Angela. I gave her a FaceTime tour. It's like pretty like out of this world, right? It is something that is like a Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Candidly, I should never be able to talk to anyone about budgets or anything, because we went way over and all in, like with the, because it was a square build out, the landlord puts their contribution. You're going to walk into a $750,000 space. That's what that place costs. AV, sound, lighting. Allison just had an anxiety attack. She heard me say $750,000 for a 3,500 square foot office, but it is a place that I believe, and there's a quote my team wants to put on the wall that I said, I go, when you create the space, what is meant to be will be born. And I really believe that, right? And I believe that space is the next thing for all of us, because we're going to have Friendsgiving there. So if you're in the local tri-state area, you want to fly in, you guys all get a thing for Friendsgiving, right? We're going to be having events there, happy hours. There are people like if Angela, Matt, Allison, and Stacy all wanted to get together one day and just sit in a big room, it's a nice room, and talk and network, you can come in and use the office for that, right? Like there's so many different opportunities. Holy Jesus, it's Fran Mazer from the beach.
Hey, Fran.
Hey, Fran.
Hey guys, I'm sorry I missed you.
So jealous.
This is, yeah, Fran, you kind of look like your mic color. You're doing good.
Listen, I was doing good until I got bit by a wasp in my face. I spent 2 days blown up. Insane. The worst luck. Sorry to interrupt.
You
Not
did it.
at all. It's always a good surprise.
Can I ask a very boring question that I'm just toying with? I have a marketing person on my team right now who I think is decent, but not great. I mean, I feel like she's gotten me to a good point of consistency and built out all the things that I've gotten my money's worth. I'm not complaining, but I do feel like we're at a point now where everything's like systematized, to use Chirag's term. And now we need someone like who could be more creative and bring some ideas and be a little more of a leader. She's more of an implementer. Do you guys have a director of marketing on your teams? Is it full-time, part-time, and what do you pay?
Great
I do,
question.
Stacy.
And
but now,
full-time, part-time?
I do. I have a girl, we call her the marketing manager. Her name's Stephanie. She handles creating all of my social posts, posting all of our videos. We have 4 different branding campaigns going right now that she and I wrote together. After our retreat in March, she helped me with our brand key. She does all of our client events, community Facebook pages, our print collateral, everything. But now our cost of living is a little different down here. So I pay her $25 an hour and she's happy to get it. I don't think you could probably do that in Manhattan.
No. But, and so what does that come out, what does that come out to a year?
She's full-time. So my team, I make them stop working at 40 hours. I won't pay overtime unless we have to. So
52,000.
Okay.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Thank you, Sharon. I couldn't do the math.
I'm like, I don't know.
So I think that I could pay that, but it would have to be part-time here.
Well, here's the other thing.
Stacey, you'll see talent come available through layoffs over the course of the next 6 months. Marketing people during COVID, there was like marketing gold out there.
Yeah. What about the rest of you? Do you guys have full-time people?
Someone full-time who I actually just cut down to 3 days, but she does all my social media, but I'm not thrilled with her. So I'm actually looking to get rid of her. So I would be interested in any.
And how much are you paying her? I can't.
I do pay her $25 an hour, but I don't think she's that great. So
I don't want to do anything hourly.
I love my person. I pay her $1,200 a month and she does all of my social media, my 4 channels, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. I meet with her once a week. We now have to start doing reels. She just literally grilled she interfaces with our Compass marketing people. And she now will do my newsletter once a month, my once a month newsletter. And
she works for a company though, like.
Yeah, her own. And you can talk to her.
Yeah.
She is fabulous. She also does Shoreline Illustrated, which is like, she's the Instagram person for both Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, Newport, and all the Shoreline. So she took me on as another avenue of revenue to see how it would work. She does like my market updates on Instagram. She's fabulous. I wouldn't know what I would do without her. And my organic viewership, I guess, whatever you call it, is growing. And I guess that's what matters. And she allows the real me to come out. I'm sometimes not all numbers. I'm like hair in a ponytail, walking around town, and she's really cool with all of that. I don't know if it's worth anything, but so it's,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good price.
well.
I think I do want someone a little more dedicated to like work for me and be in my office 3 days a week. Cause my current person is virtual she's in New York, but she doesn't come to the office. And I think it's, I don't want that. I want someone in my office.
I need an assistant. No doubt about it. That's my missing link, as Chirag knows right now.
Did she, who does, Angela, who writes the content, or how is that planned out like each week?
She does my content for all my social media, and I use a copywriter for all my houses, like for all my listings. I just do an in-house copywriter.
But Angela, do you come up with the content, or does she say, here's, 6 great ideas,
Oh, she comes up with all of it, everything. I don't do a thing. The only thing I came up with, which is I'm going to go out on a stand-up paddleboard in a Santa outfit in 2 weeks. And that's going to be part of I've always wanted to do that. So she's just going to do a whole thing about the Greenwich lifestyle, no matter what time of the year it is. Yep.
Sounds like you got a pretty good deal going, Angela.
She's good. She's really good.
Yep.
Really good.
Would you
Hey, guys,
share
I
her
gotta
name?
run
Would you
real
mind
quick.
sharing her name?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I'll give it to you right now, Freon.
Send it to me. Thank you.
Yep.
Pasta, how are you, my man?
I'm going. It's busy. There's a lot of things going on. Crazy
Yeah.
market.
Good for you.
Things slow
Stacey,
down
maybe you ought to
now.
move out there.
Yeah.
Stacey was lamenting how nothing's happening in the city.
Yeah. The city's, it's they haven't done their price changes yet. I don't know, Stacey, you'd know way better than me, but it seems like everyone's holding steady and that's not working with the buyers. So I'm even on the sideline, Stacey. You find a good deal in 6 months, I'm in. That's what I'm waiting for. I think a lot of people are also waiting for that. So but so far it seems like the affluent people are able to hold on and hold steady for a long haul, it looks like. Out here, Long Island, it's the same thing. It's just if I look like that, it's only because I'm working probably 8 times harder than normally I have been in the last 2 years per deal. A lot of I want to call it like trying to bring a meeting of the minds. There's a lot of emotion going on. Everyone's all over the place. And I've used my coaching expertise, Mr. Chirag Shah there and David Severance, a lot of emotional intelligence, I'm the calm beacon in the transaction between lawyers, appraisers, banks, buyers, seller, I'm like, okay, now it's my turn to take over. I send out an email. I'm like, this is how this is going to work. Everyone needs to come to me. I'm going to control the show, and I'm getting them to the finish line, which is great. It's just 8 times harder. That's all.
Got it. Well, listen, congratulations on making it work. It sounds kind of like what Matt was saying a couple of weeks ago, that there are deals there, but you got to work at it.
Yep, absolutely.
Definitely.
And all price points too. So I'm doing it on a $700,000 condo, and I'm about to close my, go to contract on my second $5 million property this week. So it's one of these, and I'm same amount of work, just the commission is, a fifth. But other than that, it's the same stuff.
There it goes. All right, I have to jump off too, but I wanted to say that I can't wait to see everyone in Atlanta. It's going to be fun. A little overwhelming, but it'll be fun.
Definitely.
Very
looking forward to
overwhelming.
it.
Give her a glass of wine. She'll be fine.
See you
I
soon, Stacey.
prefer vodka, but
All right, I'll give you vodka, no problem.
And the IV shot will get you ready for more. Don't worry.
there you go. There you go. I love you
Hey,
all.
can I ask everyone, are we first meeting Tuesday night at 8? Is that our first meeting?
Yeah, we're coming to our party at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay. And what was going on with Wednesday? Were you scheduling something Wednesday or no?
I'm free on Wednesday if people want to get together and do something.
Okay. Cool.
I'll be around. Hit me up.
Does
Okay,
anybody
you
have
got it.
Anybody have a complete list? My app, I lost everything for some reason. None of my things are scheduled anymore in my app. And I
A
heard
lot
there's,
of people said that, Angela.
yeah, I don't know
People
what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, this is where I'm going to drop out of this conversation.
Goodbye,
Nothing.
y'all.
See you next week.
Oh, gotta love
Bye,
company.
everybody.
Bye.
Have a good one. See you next week.
All right, bye everybody. Pasta, always nice to see you. You're coming to retreat, right?
I am, and I will meet you Wednesday, but I'm only there for a short time. I'm coming in Monday early and leaving Wednesday. I have a
All right, so
closing.
you're gonna come to our party Tuesday, and I'll see you there definitely.
Yeah, and then we'll hook something up for Wednesday, because I'm not
Yeah,
going
where
to
you staying?
these session things.
I'm not going to them either.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll see you at the SME thing. I'll be there for a little bit too. So will David.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
All
All
right,
right,
see you,
Fran,
Plaza.
it's so good to see you. Can I call you? I'm gonna call you later so we can be friends again. I miss you.
I know. I haven't heard from you in ages.
I know. A lot to catch up on.
Call me.
All right, I will. Bye.
Enjoy, Fran.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, David. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, Shrag, do you have 1 minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
no,
have a
you
question
can
for
go.
Shrag. So I'll see you later, Fran.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll call you, David.
All right, fine.
I bet.
All right, bye.